You are wasting your money if you're buying a big ass house. What's up guys? Justin here again, and people are torching their money on buying big ass houses. As someone that just bought a house, I promise you these 4 points can change your perspective drastically when if you're thinking of buying a house and or if you have a house that's too big. So this is just my perspective, right? I just literally closed on my home almost 3 weeks ago, and it's not a small home by any stretch. It's almost 3,000 square feet, has a pool, has 2 master suites. It's quite great. It's just me and my wife and my 7-month-old baby girl. So for me, it's perfect. By the way, it's still above $1 million, and I never thought a 3,000 square foot home would be above $1 million, but here we are. So let's talk about why I believe people are being dumb when they're buying homes that are 6, 7, 8,000 square feet just because they can. First of all, let's talk about this just because they can idea. That is just dumb decision making financially. Just because I can go out and buy a Ferrari doesn't mean it's a good decision. It's more of an ego play, right? No one, unless you literally have 10, 15 kids, and I only know one person with 10 kids, by the way, should have a house that big. I've talked to a lot of my friends, most of them with multiple children. In fact, I was on a call today with a really hyper successful investor. He's one of my elite coaching students. He's doing $4 million a year. He has plenty of money, and he still only bought a 3,000 square foot house because he, his wife, and his 2 kids don't even use the current home he has, which is 3,400. He's actually not even going into the other side of the home, like a whole wing of the home. They never actually use. And that's the point I'm bringing up to you. Regardless of just because you can, doesn't actually mean it's a good financial investment. It's ego driven. You want to bring your friends and your family over and show off your beautiful house. Well, guess what? That big awe moment, that impressive moment that you're gonna have, happens once. Every time thereafter, they're gonna come to the home, probably sit in the same room you always sit, which is the kitchen or maybe the living room, and discuss and have conversation and eat. Because very rarely are formal dining rooms ever used these days, and most people eat in their kitchen because they have great islands, or maybe they have an open floor plan and you have your kitchen, living room, and dining room all in one room anyways. So what is the need to have all this extra square footage that quite simply is unused? If you're liking this, guys, huge favor, smash the like button, make sure you're subscribed. So I have better advice. Why don't you take that extra money instead of buying a 6,000 square foot home just because you can, and why don't you reinvest it? Maybe put the money into life insurance like I do. I have 2 different whole life policies. Great investment, compound interest. That's a great investment and that's a great use of your money. Why don't you invest it in cryptocurrency? I have Bitcoin, I have Ethereum, I have several other smaller coins. Really has done quite well for me. Why don't you invest it in rental properties? Why don't you use your money to make money? These are good financial decisions, and just buying a big home because you can is just based around ego. Secondly, most people just because they can means I have enough money to have this level of a down payment. I can afford this much per month. But here's the thing, when you start getting into higher price points, let's say you're gonna go buy a $2 or $3 million home, the lending changes. Oftentimes, not always, you'll actually have to come out of pocket more than you really want to, which means, let's just use a $2 million home. If you're coming out of pocket 20, maybe even 25%, but let's just use 20% on a $2 million home, that's $400,000. Again, let's go back to good financial decisions. Wouldn't the extra, let's say $100,000 that you would be saving if you didn't actually buy this 6,000 square foot home, which you won't use, by the way, that's the point of this video, wouldn't you rather take that $100,000 and maybe buy a couple rentals that will make you more money to offset your own mortgage? I don't know, I think that's pretty good solid advice. Maybe you want to make a long-term investment in Bitcoin. Maybe you want to get some life insurance policies like I have. That extra $100,000 or more could be used to make you more money. So again, the down payment itself, especially when you're buying bigger properties tends to be larger than what most people expect. Well, again, not the best financial decision in my opinion. I would rather utilize that cash in investments that can get me great returns. Let's talk about stocks. The only stock I really believe in is Tesla. I would rather put 100 grand into Tesla because I believe in the long term it will make me more money and then I can buy 100 rentals, right? So let's talk about the property taxes. This is something that I found out with a harsh reality regarding my property bought in Miami. Arizona, property taxes are minimal relative to the specific location where I bought my home in Miami. The property taxes are unreal, and they only become higher the more expensive your property is. So I get it. If you can afford a 6,000 square foot home, you likely do very well financially. But I still would tell you that doesn't seem like the best financial decision, even though my accountant would tell you that you can write off property taxes, etc. I actually think that is still not a great decision because it's wasted money because you're not using the home. This all boils down to the fact that you're actually not using the home. It's unnecessary. Quite literally, the only person I know, our friend Jerry Norton, great dude. You should follow him on YouTube if you would like. He is a killer investor. He's the only person I know that actually would use a home the size of a home he has because he has 10 kids. What I will tell you is I think financially, for all three of these points, I would tell you it is a dumb decision. I do not think it is a wise financial decision. And the fourth point that is just kind of odd, but is something worth noting, when you have a big home, people do want to come over. They want to stay the night. So unless you intend on entertaining all the time, having a bunch of friends and family member over all the time, having a big home is just going to cause you to have to entertain more. As someone that loves having fun and entertaining, I do have a limit to how often I want people in my house and how many people I want staying at my house. So that last point might be a little odd. Maybe you want people there a lot. Maybe you want people to spend the night a lot. That's fine. For me, it's not the jam. All said and done, guys, I really think people are being unwise financially when buying homes that are 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 square feet because they can. Ultimately, you still are gonna have to maintain the home, which we didn't even talk about. You're gonna have to maintain the backyard, the front yard. There are things that are gonna break. There are things that are gonna need to be fixed, and it's just gonna cost more money. And most people that do well are gonna say, Justin, I don't care, I have the money. Well, is that really just being smart, or are you just being stubborn for your ego? I'd ask you to think about that. If you agree with any of this, or maybe you don't agree, hit the like button. Shoot, hit the not like button. I don't care as long as you subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video.